Right, that's saying, wait for the last one. You give it to Mimi, what do you give it to? Give it to Mimi.
Okay, it's up and running again.
I don't remember. Cover gave the other one, and then the honeycomb. The dedication stays the same. I need to remember.
We're okay.
Either him or I should walk something.
I lost everybody.
Okay.
We're okay?
I'm back on. My phone went blank, and it dropped everybody.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I think, are we all back on?
I think we lost some of us. Okay. Well, I suggest that whatever happened,
I assume people will probably try to log in again. I hope.
okay, well, whoever's here, we can continue the conversation. So we were talking about using the other communities, right?
Right.
Not as a barometer, but just to at least hear what others are saying.
Right.
I think it's complicated. You know, when you have other communities that are very, just in our community, for an example, we have the Chabad community has received the name as being very lax. And the modern Orthodox community is sort of levied against us that we're not taking any precautions. So while we have been taking tremendous precautions,
Sure.
that seems to automatically be the viewfinder, the window that everyone's looking at us at it. So it's complicated. But our view has just been, you know, do what's not what others are saying, but what's right. What should be happening. So
I have a suggestion, and I know that this is something that's probably going to require a little bit of effort in the middle of all of this. But when I hear about something like this happening within the community, I begin to think about how you're able to turn this around to your advantage. Do you have a good relationship with your Anglo-Jewish newspaper people?
I do.
So what would it mean to maybe do an initial release and or invite a reporter to do a story, obviously with all the bells and whistles, distance, etc., about how your school and how the Chabad community has really, really taken unbelievable precautions, and then once and for all, get it into the press and then get it out there. Because, you know, this is the type of stuff which unfortunately happens in communities, but you know, you're doing all the right things. Why let this be the best kept secret in town when you could begin to get it out there? I mean, this may be a perfect opportunity for you to do some real heavy duty marketing for your school. That adrabah, you know, these are all the precautions that you're taking and all the guidelines, etc. You know, Joe Plony Ben Plony in the street doesn't know that you're doing this. Whereas if you get some press coverage on it, like, wow, you know, this will be a head turner. Look what Chabad's doing. They are really serious about this. It's just some food for thought. Just use
it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
We actually moved a little bit, you know, with the school, and the school has its own procedures. Whatever the community has is their procedures.
Of course.
You know, we're very clear. I've been very vocal, and it's on our website exactly how we're going through these steps. But that's a good idea. I think maybe.
Yeah. And also, if you don't want to invite a reporter, because the reporter may, who knows, mechanisch wissen, like how a reporter is going to do the story or with what perspective the reporter is going to have, do a press release.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. We create the report about how it's working.
Exactly.
I mean, we're in a state. Connecticut is a state where technically we are doing one of the best of all states.
There you go. There you go.
Governor has opened up the state completely, and now every district is fighting. It's become a complete mess.
Right.
With, you know, every superintendent fighting his case, and it's like you said. And this is, I think we all have to be careful, by the way, if you have general studies teachers, as their children as their schools are going to open or close, it's going to affect their jobs. So just this morning, my teacher said, okay, I can't come anymore. Why? Because the school changed their policy. Now my children don't have a school. So here's another interesting thing. I loved your response. I had a thought about opening up a room within our school to allow teachers' children who are not students in our school to be able to work when and if their school drops schools and to do their distance learning. I'm wondering, what is the feeling? What are the fears that we would have to? What are the implications? Because you're bringing students that are not your students into the building, and to give them sort of, I guess, access to internet. And what are your thoughts about that? Are you with me?
Because I think it's a worthwhile idea. I mean, obviously, it's fraught with a lot of different challenges. Jewish versus non-Jewish. If you're talking about Limudei Chol teachers, so some of that has to be somewhat navigated.
I'm wondering about the legal implications.
Legal implications.
Having people in your building that are not students,
Yeah,
not signed in your building, but have parents present.
it's almost like running some sort of a quasi daycare program with education. I mean, I don't know. You definitely have to seek legal counsel as to whether or not what the state regs would be for that to happen, because obviously there's exposure, legal exposure, and etc. But it sounds like it has at least the beginnings of an idea that could try and respond to some of the needs that teachers may eventually have, if that is indeed the case. I mean, we have here in our school, either our teachers do not have children who are of school age, and if they do, they go to our school, Bichlal.
Right.
And we're small enough for that to happen, and we're also large enough for that to happen. So it's a whole different mahalach.
Right. So you don't have any teachers that are coming from outside?
From outside, yeah, we do, but they have older kids.
Oh, okay.
They don't have any kids at home. That's the thing. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and our Lumudei Kodesh teachers who do have kids at home are either going to other Chabad schools or they're coming to our academy.
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's certainly an idea to even prepare such a room, even if everyone seems to be okay.
Yeah.
You should all think about the fact you're going to get that phone call in the morning and say, and you're not going to be able to replace these people easily, because
That's
what I'm
true.
finding is many of these many non-Jewish teachers are currently working in pods.
Yeah.
Little pods. They found a lot of, or they're only working twice a week and getting full pay.
Absolutely.
So, and they don't want to drop
yeah.
them because they're afraid to lose their place.
Of course. I mean, we've had several teachers who left, and we took out the ads. We're doing interviewing, etc. And I was absolutely floored by the number of candidates who only want to do remote. I mean, we have resumes like, Mehodu Akush, and the reality is that they don't want to do in person. They all want to do remotes. So it's,
that's an interesting thing also, because we have one class that we are combining a certain grade.
Right.
That. And I only have one or two students that I really.
I'm not sure you can hear me, but you're frozen. You're still frozen. I'm not sure you could hear me. Huh.
Okay, that was my internet. So So
Okay.
I think, oh, again, I'm just mentioning ideas. If anybody has these, I think the more ideas we hear from different sides, you never know what's going to fit for you. But if
Absolutely.
you have opportunities now, if you have a student that is way above or way below, and you're thinking about, you're not able to have a tutor work with them, there's a lot of people out there who are doing, little groups, and really good people out there right now that are willing to take on a student or two. You can have them in a classroom, especially something like a math class, in the back of a classroom with headphones. They don't have to talk. He can just tell them what to do, and they're doing the writing, and they're
Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we are now exploring the possibility of, depending on the group of kids, of actually doing something remotely in addition to, I mean, we also have a remote option, but we have.
You have a
actually,
remote option? Is that the
Yeah.
same classroom?
Same classroom, so it's going to be real time. It's not going to be like we did after Pesach, where it was just like Zoom and Google Classroom. Kids will mamish be in the classroom, and we're going to have to adjust the camera that will focus on. I mean, it's going to be a task, but we do have the technology for it now, Baruch Hashem, and we have already installed the technology, and we don't have a lot of kids.
I think the challenge is not the technology. It's the fact that if you taught Zoom classes, it's about you watching that kid and pulling them in.
Right. That'll always be the issue of the kids sitting at home in a living room and not focusing or whatever. That's always going to be, and kids only have a certain amount of Sitzfleisch.
It's even worse than it has been during Zoom, because during Zoom you were focused on those screens.
Correct. And now they're going to be 100%. This is going to be a grand experiment, as they say.
I said I'm not offering it.
You're not offering it, yeah.
No, if you can't come, you can't come. But I don't think we'll do it well.
I understand.
I think at the end, we're going to have people coming back at us and saying, but you promised to do it.
Sure.
For me, it's only going to hit us in the face, I think.
I hear you.
I only had 2 or 3 people ask. And I said, want to go online? There's online programs, but
yeah.
I feel
well, yeah. How many? What's your enrollment?
So we have 115 students from K through 8. We have a large preschool, about 75, and then a small high school.
Okay.
About 30 students.
Yeah, we only have around maybe 10 or 12 students who are doing remotes. And, it was a way for the school to accommodate parents who have concerns. And again, I know it sounds a little too clinical, but it is an experiment. We'll see how it goes. Because, I mean, that is not the recommended. We are recommending in person. If we're in person, we want it to be in person. But we just didn't want to say no to parents who are opting for it, and not because of fear, but rather because of extenuating circumstances. Whether it's a kid who's mamish compromised himself or herself, cannot come in contact with other kids, or a Bubba or a Zayda who's home, whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm just afraid to say we'll do it and then not be able to really.
I understand. It's a dilemma. Yeah.
Thought there.
For sure.
What are you thinking about assemblies?
Assemblies, what's interesting, we had a small dry run, not with kids, but with faculty, because this is the week that we're having orientation. We have, Baruch Hashem, we have a very large gym with unbelievable fresh air filters and nice.
What is that, fresh air filters?
Fresh air, it's a special filter, or maybe a special air conditioner, that actually cools fresh air. Continuously brings in fresh air.
You have a HEPA filter with that, or just
HEPA filter with it as well, I believe. Yeah. So with that type of experience that we had with them, we took chairs. It's a big Baruch Hashem gym. We took chairs. We had all the faculty sitting distance in every part of the room, and I began to envision what would an assembly look like if we were to just take kids and maybe add another 20 chairs, which would not really be that significant for such a size room, or maybe 30 chairs. I think it's doable. I mamish think it's doable. The other thing that, again, we have, I don't want to give ourselves an ayin hara, but the advantage that we do have is, as we begin to get, like after Sukkot, the weather is going to start getting a lot cooler, but it's not ice and snow. So to be able to have things outside is a real bracha for us, whether it's classes, whether it's assemblies, whether it's exercise, whatever it is. But at least, in South Florida, we, Baruch Hashem, have that climate that we could do it. Yeah, Baruch Hashem. So it's a bit of a yitzmin.
Did you get webcams for the classroom? For the
Yes.
class?
Yes. Yeah. It frozen again. It's frozen. It's probably your Wi-Fi, if you're hearing me.
It looks like he's in a real bad Wi-Fi, and that's why
Yeah.
that keeps on happening.
Yeah.
I made him host before, and that probably happened before, and that's why everyone's thrown off. I'm assuming.
I got it. No, it'll happen. As much as we've perfected 21st century technology, it's far from perfect.
Rabbi Kaplan, unmute yourself.
We just doubled our bandwidth, and yet.
There you go. It happens.
Oh, we're gonna see. You know what? I think I'd like to try an assembly. I'm even thinking of doing benching.
Benching.
Everyone log on. See if.
There we go again.
Yeah. Does he have bad weather, or it's just the band?
I think he's running it off his phone, if I'm not mistaken. That's why it keeps on happening.
Okay, yeah.
If he has a hardwired computer that's wired into the internet, it shouldn't be happening.
Got it. Yeah. On a phone, it'll happen. Yeah. But up until now, it's been relatively good. He's been good.
Rabbi Kaplan, first of all, unmute yourself. Second of all, are you on a phone or a computer?
I'm on a computer. I switched to my phone because it was going to die, and I moved to my computer. The sad thing is my phone had better service than the computer here.
By the way, that's what happened to me. My cell phone
Yeah, your cell phone is better?
has better service than, at least at home. Like when I try to Zoom at home, I don't use my computer or my laptop. I use my cell phone. But it does drain the battery. That's the problem.
That's what keeps happening. That's what I'm so afraid of.
Yeah.
I'll try to log on a Zoom and the whole thing is going to crash.
Right.
That's why what I'm going to do is we'll try it once. If it crashes, you just continue with your thing.
Right.
I can always go on the PA system.
That's true.
Talk to the students. So I'm gonna demonstrate exactly what could happen when we try this.
Yeah. By the way, your idea about benching is a good idea.
I think it really. What I'm thinking is, how do we have our students feel like they're one school?
Right.
They're gonna feel like they have friends.
Sure.
We're a family school.
Right.
So that's my I need the kids to be able to talk to each other, to be able to see each other. I'm going to have activities where, everyone will do something to start off their day.
Sure.
And then when we join together, I can have one class demonstrate, if I have a little puzzle piece, that each class has one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Everyone says their part. And we have, in the principal's office, a large puzzle in the back, which we start to put together. So everyone
Beautiful idea.
Everyone all of a sudden, there's input, and it's just a message. It could be a message of unity. It could be a message of Shana Tova.
Sure.
But if every class, one has a shin and one has a this, one has a that, and they help me out putting it into order, this is something I would do on stage. Right. I can do it on Zoom. So,
wow. I think it's a great idea. You're creating a real sense of community. It's a beautiful idea.
We had some really, really solid assemblies during our Zoom period.
Nice. That's great.
I'm hoping that school's bandwidth works as well as.
Yeah. We also had some really great assemblies. We also had a Chumash fair. We had a science fair. So Baruch Hashem, it's the teachers were challenged, but I'll tell you, it's remarkable. It tells you about resiliency. The way in which our faculty were able to go from 0 to 100, mamish, within a period of just a couple weeks. knowing how to use the technology creatively. It's was a real eye opener. It's amazing.
Right. My biggest unknown now is what's going to
what's-
happen to our technology.
What's the expression? It's like something is the mother of invention. Necessity is the mother of invention.
That's the mother of all inventions.
Of all that, exactly. So Adarabba, that's what it's about. So do we have more chevra that anybody wants to ask another question or has an idea as to what to share with everybody? Something, maybe a chidush or something that we could begin to try over the next couple of weeks as we open? Okay, crickets. By the way, crickets is not so bad. You know, it's like, I know shtika kahada'ah, but you know what? People are busy.
Actually, one second. Hello. Oh, excellent. Okay, I'll be out in a minute. You can come to the front of the building, and I'm going to come out and greet you guys. Okay, I've got an appointment, so this will
Okay.
come to an end as well. Rabbi Botwinick, thank you. Dr. Botwinick, thank you so much. Chaim.
So it was
These
it was really a
conversations are
pleasure.
good.
It was a
I
pleasure,
hope
honor
it
for
can
me.
continue. I
Emir
think
Hashem.
it's very helpful if whoever wants to join on a conversation, principles, come back in a week after we've started and redo this.
I think that's a great idea. Great idea.
We all have great ideas, but the question is how they're going to work. And I think each one of us are going to encounter different problems.
100%.
Different minds will think differently. And
For sure. Agroisha shkoyach.
thank you.
Hatzlacha Rabba. Take care.
Right.
Stay well.